All right, everyone, it's time to look into the future. Get your crystal balls ready. Seeing the future. Looking at some team future bets on the DK Sportsbook. Geoff Ulrich is the man in charge here, the man who will be answering these questions. Before we do that, though, Tennessee Titans acquiring Julio Jones. Let's start with your take on how this move impacts Julio's DFS value. Like, is it better or worse with the Titans? He said he wanted a quarterback with a big cannon for an arm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where Ryan Tannehill's arm would rate in the NFL. Maybe average, maybe above average. I don't know, but he has looked pretty good. Obviously, working in like a play action scheme with Derrick Henry and AJ Brown. The problem for Julio Jones here is pretty simple. AJ Brown, even last year, when he only played 14 games, but he kind of topped out around 120. He was on pace for about 125 targets. Now you're adding another like top wide receiver to that offense. This is the Tennessee team who ranked top 3 in rush attempts per game. We're used to seeing Julio Jones in Atlanta. You just go back to his last couple seasons, around 150, 170 targets per season. I'm sorry, but it's not going to be there for Julio Jones this year. You're also working alongside a wide receiver in AJ Brown, who, averaging over 15 yards per reception, has proven that he can take on other teams' wide receiver ones. I think you really have to bump down Julio Jones in expectations this year. And unfortunately, you have to bump down AJ Brown now as well, because we can't pencil him in for 150 targets. You're probably going to just hope that he gets 120, 130 targets again, and then just takes over with that massive yards per reception again. So both these guys are players I would really just wait on, look for their valuations to drop. They're still great. They're great after the catch efficient players, but right now where they are in just terms of ADP, they're probably overvalued.
All right, now let's look into these sportsbook futures here. Titans, the co-favorites to win the AFC South at plus 110 with the Colts. Does this move win them a division title?
Yeah, I think I don't know how much value you actually put just in the win-loss total on the acquisition of Julio Jones, but there's been other acquisitions made by the Titans. They've really shored up their defense. Let's not forget, Emerson, this is a team in the Titans that won a bunch of games last year with one of the worst defenses in the league. This team averaged more points per game than the Kansas City Chiefs last year. Like, they already have a great offense. Derrick Henry, AJ Brown. You really don't need much more than that. And you've got a mobile quarterback who really works in this scheme well. Now you add Julio Jones. I think the Titans are definitely the team to go on here. I give them the advantage in pretty much every area on offense over the Indianapolis Colts, who are going to be rolling with a damaged Carson Wentz, who took a bunch of sacks last year. I really like the Titans here if they're going to be even money or just even slightly bigger favorites than the Colts right now. Do they have to improve their defense? Yes. But Janoris Jenkins, Bud Dupree, some draft picks, they did address that issue. If they can just be a little bit better in that area, their offense is going to absolutely fly. I'll take them here over the Colts 100%.
Yeah, they went from plus 130 to plus 110 there. One future on the DK Sportsbook is looking for the team that will have the most regular season wins in 2021. The Chiefs are the favorite at plus 400. Is there another team that could, bring a little value with this pick?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to make this the Titans segment, but like you look at Tennessee at plus 2,500. I mentioned this is a team who won over 10 games last year with one of the worst defenses in the league. A little bit of improvement there, plus the fact they play in one of the weaker divisions with, I don't want to say layups, but easy games against Houston and Jacksonville. That's 4 games on the slate. What if Carson Wentz goes down a little bit or just is ineffective? They could be in a really weak division. They all of a sudden have a superstar offense. I think plus 2,500 for the Titans is very tempting on this. Another team that I'm surprised in the odds, LA Rams plus 1,400. Actually, higher odds than the San Francisco 49ers, which, again, a little surprising just considering the record that Kyle Shanahan has produced in 3 of the 4 seasons there. I think you're getting good value on the Rams, but honestly, I really like the Titans in this bet. They have a weak division. They could really just dominate there, especially one small injury to Carson Wentz or something happens on that Colts side, and all of a sudden the Titans could be, romping to 13 or 14 wins easily.
All right, man, we got a little less than 90 seconds, so just quick on this one. You can also pick which team will have the fewest wins of the regular season. Favorite in that category is Houston at plus 225. Anyone else that could actually lead the league in most losses here?
I definitely think that you have to give the Detroit Lions like a huge look here. I want to make some kind of Jets joke just, for Kenny Ducey's sake, but they do have a pretty weak schedule. the Lions, when you look at their schedule, it's actually pretty brutal. They've drawn some really tough teams. Let's assume Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. I mean, I don't see them being a favorite against any of the teams in their division, even in the home matchups. I think I would actually prefer the Lions here over the Texans. At the very least, the Texans signed a lot of veteran players. They're going to have the depth. I don't like anything that Detroit did this year. I think it's going to be a lost year for them. I'd much rather take them a plus 400 on that problem.